What is going on, guys? I am Jahova. We got a little bit something new, a little something different today. As you can see, obviously, this is some PUBG first-person duos gameplay with my buddy Xfactor, Rival Xfactor. You may know him. He's a streamer. He uploads a little bit on YouTube, but I'd say he's primarily a streamer. I met him through all the Battlefield stuff that I've been doing. Battlefield, Star Wars, basically any of my work with EA. He's always on these trips. He's always killing it. Any PC game I've ever played with this dude, he's insane. He's nuts. He always invites me to play PUBG. I don't always have time. Luckily, I was finally able to join him literally for, I think, 2 games. This game and another game. This is the first game I jumped in with him. And like I said, he's a fucking beast. We got the win on the very first game I jumped in with him. Unfortunately, my microphone settings were fucked up in my recording software. The wrong device was selected, so my audio is not there. His is there, and it's weird because the microphone setting was fucked up. It's kind of a hard thing to explain, but I wanted to make sure that, because it was a pretty sick gameplay, even though he carried, I clutch it at the end. So I wanted to make sure that something happened with the footage, so I figured, why not a commentary? I haven't done any PUBG commentaries, I don't think, yet. It's all been like highlight gameplay from either streams or offline play, full games, etc., etc. So, you know, like I said, figured we'd try something a little bit new here. If you guys have not tried the first-person update to PUBG, I highly recommend it. I was super skeptical, I'm not gonna lie. Huge fan of this game, absolutely fucking love it. But it was default third person when it was launched, and whenever news comes out like, hey, you know, we're gonna have first person mode, it's like, is it gonna be any good? Because, you know, from other experiences, games that, you know, are primarily first person that go to third person, or primarily third person that go to first person, you know, the transition's not always good. Sometimes it's more gimmicky than anything, and it doesn't really play well. But they added the field of view slider at the same time that they implemented first-person mode, and so far everything is beautiful. It handles really well. It feels good. It makes me even more excited for the Xbox release of this game. I know some of you guys might not be excited for that. I'm not particularly, because it's going to come out on Xbox. I'm still going to play it on PC primarily. I might have some Xbox friends that I can finally play with that maybe weren't able to before, so I'm excited for that. But I'm just excited. I know there's a lot of people out there that still don't have a gaming PC, or, you know, maybe they have a PC, but it's not good enough to run PUBG. So, you know, for those of you that have an Xbox, super excited for you guys to be able to get your hands on this. I think that was one of the most significant announcements at E3, especially for Xbox, but if not just for anybody in general. PUBG is breaking all kinds of records. Concurrent players, the peaks are absolutely insane. It's the most concurrent players at one time game that's not a Valve title. So like Counter-Strike and, God, I can't even think of any others, but it's not a Valve title, and that's a big deal, coming from, you know, just basically a dude that was making mods at his house to, you know, making his own fucking game, from, you know, basically a brand new, you know, development team or whatever. And this game is as fucking popular as it is, and it's for good reason. It's a great fucking game. It came out, it was a little bit rocky early on, but their development team is so on top of shit, it's absolutely insane. And I'm probably preaching, you know, to the choir. Most of you guys probably already know this, but they do so many updates. They're so frequent. They're so good about it. Any issues that come along, they immediately get on top of the shit and they fix it. And it's just, it's great. If you guys haven't tried this and you've been thinking about it, I cannot recommend this game enough. It really is a good time. Personally, I just love the whole idea of like 100 people, 200 people in a game or whatever, and it being, you know, a fight to the final guy, you know, survival of the fittest, I guess. Or, you know, in duos, obviously it's the fight to the last 2, or at least your teammate can win, or whatever. Squad's the same, obviously, you guys get all that. But I just love all the ammo being like real ammo and interchangeable with different weapons, the attachments, and just everything about it. I really enjoy it. So if you guys haven't tried it out, I highly recommend it. This sounds like a sponsored video. It's not. I'm just a huge fucking fan of this game. It's probably my favorite game as of right now. So you see we're in this situation right now where actually there's still 16 people alive, and the circle is in a really awkward position. I don't think I've ever been in a game that ended like this, to where it's right on the fucking beach. So there's almost no cover. You know, we're doing as much as we can to be bitches and hide in these little shacks, and you know, that helps a little bit. But we know ultimately we're probably going to have to come out and fight it out on the beach, which is what happens. And it ends pretty interestingly here. So, you know, you'll see that. As you can see, I'm rocking the M4A1 setup. I got the 4x scope on top of it, so I'm sitting pretty with that. And then I even have a SCAR for a backup. I always try to have a primary weapon as good as I can get it. AK does a lot of damage in this game. M4A1, I really like the accuracy and all the attachments that you can put on it. But I like to have something with range, so I like to get a 4x scope, 2x at least, you know, have that as a primary. And then I always like to have as good of a weapon as I can get as my secondary, as my spray and pray. You know, as my, okay, we're about to be in a close quarter situation, I'm going to switch to my secondary for that. So that's kind of how I play. I don't really like to play shotguns in this game unless I have to, just because my accuracy is pretty bad. Like if I miss those first couple shots, you know, I'm screwed. I'd rather have an Uzi or a UMP or anything spray and pray. I feel a lot more comfortable in that situation than any other. But obviously, you know, it comes down to your preference of play, because even the pistols in this game, like if you're good enough with them, they're effective and you can really, you know, put some damage into people. And another thing about this game is if you're playing teams, if you're playing duos, if you're playing squads, the support factor is such a big role. As long as you're putting damage into other people, you know, you're helping, because your teammate might be able to get that final shot into them that downs the person or that kills the person or whatever, and that's a huge deal. So even if you're just inflicting damage and other people are getting the kills, you know, that's going to help a lot. As you can see in this gameplay, Xfactor is just carrying me. He's just murdering everybody. Like I said, I do come up with the clutch here at the end, spoiler alert, but he definitely carried me. I think I ended up with 4 kills in the game, and he ended up with like 7 or something like that. But yeah, so as you can see here, we've got some people spotted. They're on the outside of the blue swimming around. There's this thing in the game, and I'm assuming it's just a glitch. I hope that eventually you will be able to, but as of right now, people that are in water, you cannot shoot them. If their head is above water, you can shoot their head, but it's a really difficult shot because only that little tippity tip top is you know, able to be hit. So hopefully, I hope they make it, you know, eventually, if you're putting shots on somebody in the water, that it can still do damage. I would understand if they maybe made it do like half. Okay, and my alarm's going off. Hold on. All right, sorry about that. So that was my weather alert radio. There's a thunderstorm warning coming in. Anyways, so water damage is what I was trying to talk about. Basically, what I was trying to say is, I think you should be able to inflict damage on people that are underwater. It definitely shouldn't just be, you know, like, oh, I'm in the water, you know, so I'm completely safe from gunshots. Like, that's until they come up. But, you know, that's a little bit of a gameplay flaw in my opinion that can be used and abused, so I don't really like it. But I would understand if they did like half damage, because bullets, whenever they hit water, they do slow down a lot. In some movies and stuff that you've seen, you know, you've probably seen like bullets whizzing by and basically being unaffected by water. That's not the case. Like if you shoot a bullet into water, it almost loses like all of its fucking power as soon as it hits the water. But I think they should try to do something like I said, like half damage, you know, if you're shooting people through the water or something like that. But other than that, you know, I don't know. There's still room for improvement in this game, obviously. There's little things like that. I also don't like the amount of damage that you have to inflict on people once they've been downed in duos. Like, it doesn't make sense, because you can one-shot headshot people with a Kar 98 in solos. But with the exact same helmet setup and the exact same ammunition, the exact same gun and everything like that, if it's duos, then they just get downed. And then you have to shoot them again with the Kar 98. And sometimes you have to shoot them 3 more times with the Kar 98 once they've been down, to where the same shot in solos would have killed the guy first shot. I don't like that. I think that with a sniper rifle, if you put one more shot into a guy after you've headshot him, he should be dead. Especially if it's a headshot. Like, I think that's ridiculous. So this part right here, he was calling these guys out the entire time. These two guys right there in that little dip to the right of that tree. He kept calling them out at the tree, and I kept looking, and I didn't see shit. I think it was just like he was a little bit higher elevation than I was. Finally pulled off the clutch shot right there for the win. Felt really good. I was really nervous because I didn't want to lose it as fucking hard as my buddy was going. I didn't want to let him down, but yeah, I think it was just the elevation. I couldn't see those guys until the very end there, and I felt really bad. He downed one, and then the other one downed him, and then it was down to a 1v1. The dude was prone. I was scared. I was shaking. That's another thing. That, like, PUBG, every time I'm in that top 5 situation, top 10, whatever, and I get into a gunfight, like, any win I get afterwards, I'm, like, shaking from it. It's one of the only games, if not the only game, that can still do that, to where I literally get so into it that I'm, like, my heart's beating, you know, I get shakes, you know, like, I legitimately, like, get into the game so much. I don't know, it's just one of my, like I said, it's my favorite game right now, and I'm having a lot of fun with it. I'm excited. I'm going to be at Gamescom. They're doing the invitational tournament and everything. I hope I have some time to check that out. I have some other responsibilities while I'm there, but I'm definitely going to be trying to check that out if I can. So yeah, just wanted to try something new. Like I said, a little bit of a commentary here with some PUBG gameplay. If you guys want to see more stuff like this, definitely let me know. I love you guys so much. Thank you for all the love on everything lately. You guys have been super fucking awesome. And I'll see you guys on the next video.